So it's really easy to say, especially when we're giving $3 to $4 million to the Redskins to help build their headquarters in Loudoun County. The Redskins are owned by a billionaire, employs millionaires. I don't see the value there. So I get rid of a lot of the discretionary funds that the government can use. I think they're political patronage schemes. I would also seek to decentralize a lot of decision making. I don't think that a bureaucracy in Richmond should be determining which local and regional transportation projects get built. That's very Soviet, isn't it? Centralized planning? It doesn't make sense. Education too, there's too much regulation, like teachers' licensure requirements, the accreditation standards. Accreditation is a, people don't realize, but it is a poison in the healthcare sector. If you look at the way we do graduate medical education, it is scandalous how inefficient it is. We snuff out every incentive you have to reduce costs, to innovate, and to produce better doctors at least cost. Yes?
What's your stand on same-sex marriage?
I'm in favor of same-sex marriage. I know that a lot of people here might not agree with me on that. All I ask for is a vote. I think it's the right thing to do. I certainly don't think that the constitutional amendment from 2006 was a good idea. I don't think it's appropriate to use the Constitution or government power to impede social change. And I think that the fact of the matter is that marriage is a social institution. I'm not asking religious organizations to marry anybody that they don't want to marry, but you should not use the government to impede social changes that are already going on and in fact have already happened. So, I respect people who disagree with me on that issue. I do think that we should put it up to a vote again. And that's all I ask. Yes.
Where do you stand on the UN Agenda 21 issues?
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, where do I stand on UN Agenda 21? I have a very dim view of the United Nations generally, and I think that you know a lot of the development, smart growth agenda is just it's anti-freedom, it's centralized planning, it's inefficient. So in so many ways, I think it's problematic. I think that the last thing that we want to do is allow the UN to be telling us what to do. Especially, you know, there's the small arms treaty. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. I do not want the UN telling us what to do. Yes.
Yes, I have a two-part question. What's your feeling on the expansion of Medicaid, and who's going to chair the Medicaid Innovation Reform Commission?
Could you repeat the question?
Yes, the question was on Medicaid expansion, and the second question was who's going to chair
Who's going to chair the committee,
the committee?
which is called the Medicaid Innovation Reform Commission in the state of Virginia?
Right. So I generally am very anti any further federalization of our healthcare policy. What we need is more state policy freedom, the ability to actually let Virginia take care of Virginians, right? I mean, the federal government messes up the healthcare system in so many ways. The principal one, the worst one, is the tax treatment, the preferred tax treatment of employer-provided health insurance. What that does is perverse in two ways. One is it ties your health insurance to your job. That's no good, because when you move jobs, then you have to move plans and things like that. That's not how insurance should work. And second, it increases the amount of healthcare spending we want to do through the insurance system. So then we get these comprehensive insurance policies rather than catastrophic health insurance policies, which is what insurance is supposed to be. And because we have all of this spending going through the insurance system, now that totally destroys any price transparency we have in the entire medical market. When you have third parties paying, the customer isn't doing any economizing whatsoever. And that is a huge, 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 huge part of the problem. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. There's so many other problems. Medicaid. And Medicaid is just a poorly designed program. What I would like to see done with Medicaid if not giving power back to the states altogether. It's, it's a long shot, but I would like to argue for this vociferously, either converting it to a block grant program with policy freedom at the state level, or giving us a waiver to design our own system. And what I would do is I would convert it to a catastrophic insurance system with a focus on mental health, because studies show that mental health spending has high returns for public dollars. And third, the remainder of what we're spending, we do through some sort of cash subsidy that gives people more freedom to find the healthcare services that are most attuned to their individualized healthcare needs.
As governor, what would you be able to do, if anything, about the relocation that the federal government is bringing into Virginia? Harrisonburg alone has over 58 languages, and they're all, or the majority of them are on social services, welfare. And as governor, would there be anything that you could do about that, or is that down to the localities?
You're saying relocation of?
Into the Russians, Kurds.
You're saying immigrants?
Yes. Refugees. They're relocating.
Dumping them in the
Well, in other locations. But they're relocating them because supposedly they have maybe a price on their head in their own country. But like I said, Harrisonburg has a minimum of 58 different languages.
Right.
So is there anything at all that you could do as governor, or would it have to be reverted back down to the localities to help solve the federal government? Because it puts a strain on the taxpayers.
Right, I understand that. That's a good question. That's not something that I've heard before, so I'm glad you brought it up. That's an important issue. The problem, one of the huge problems is that the state has no leverage, no formal or official procedures or institutions that allows it to affect federal programs and so that's one of the things that we have to tackle. But you do want a governor who is going to be assertive and especially on state powers vis-a-vis the federal government. And so I think I'm in the best position to do that. And I think that somebody who understands federalism as well as I do, the constitutional changes that need to be made. I mean, I'm in favor of a lot of different constitutional changes, including a 2/3 veto by state legislatures. But that's an issue where you have to have constituent services and somebody fighting, talking to the federal government about that program. And so that's an issue that I need to learn more about. But I will be a voice for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.